Chosen one, prepare for August 21, 2025. Chosen one, the hour is near, and August 21, 2025 is not just another date on the calendar. It is a divine appointment, a moment written in eternity, waiting for you to step into it with full awareness. Life has been preparing you, breaking you, shaping you, and molding you for this very season, and now the time has come to rise beyond the illusions of delay and doubt. What is about to unfold is not by accident, but by the silent choices you have made in your heart, the unseen visions you have carried, and the faith you refuse to let go of, even when everything around you looked impossible. This day calls you to stand firm in the knowing that your destiny is not ahead of you. It is within you, waiting to be revealed. Prepare not with fear, but with faith, for what is written will manifest, and what you have believed in secret will stand before you in light. August 21, 2025 is the day of unveiling, and you, chosen one, must be ready to walk into it with courage, certainty, and unshakable trust. The day of divine alignment, chosen one, understand this with every fiber of your being. August 21, 2025 is not a date that simply appears on the calendar like every other. It is a moment of divine alignment, a threshold between the old you and the new you, a crossing over from what was to what shall be, and whether you realize it or not, life has been preparing you for this very hour. Every disappointment, every delay, every tear shed in silence, and every night you wrestled in prayer has been leading you here, shaping you into someone who can stand in faith even when the outer world looked completely against you. You may have wondered why certain doors shut in your face, why people walked away, why opportunities dissolved right when they seemed near. But all of it was the hidden hand of divine wisdom moving you into alignment for this appointed day. Nothing was lost, nothing was wasted, and nothing was random. Every event, every encounter, every setback has been part of the orchestration that ensures when this day arrives, you will be ready to receive what you could not have handled before. Alignment does not come from chance, it comes from preparation, and that preparation has been happening in you, often without your awareness, molding your inner world so that your outer world can now reflect the destiny written for you. The day of alignment is never about external signs first. It begins in the unseen chambers of the heart and mind, where you have rehearsed in silence the life you longed for, where you carried pictures of victory when reality only showed you defeat, where you dared to hold on to visions others called foolish. That inner preparation has been your true work, and now the harvest of it is drawing near. August 21, 2025 will not suddenly change you. It will reveal what has already changed within you. If you have been cultivating fear, worry, and doubt, then that day will expose the emptiness of that inner posture. But if you have held firm in faith, if you have dared to believe in the unseen, if you have learned to rest in the truth that your desire is already fulfilled, then that day will unfold as the visible confirmation of your unseen faith. Do not think of it as a day when something magically falls into your lap from outside. Think of it as the day when the inner state you have sustained finally crystallizes into outer form. Alignment means the inner and outer worlds come together, and that is why your preparation has been internal first. It has been about training your consciousness to remain fixed on the truth of what already belongs to you. Many have been waiting for signs, for outward evidence, for something tangible to hold on to before they dare to believe. But you, chosen one, have been called to believe first, to walk by faith and not by sight, to accept the invisible as more real than what your eyes can presently see. That is why the pressure has been so intense, why the trials have been so sharp, because you were being taught to trust not in appearances, but in the unseen law that what you accept within must eventually show up without. The day of alignment is not the beginning of your manifestation, it is the unveiling of it. Just as a seed planted long ago breaks through the soil in its appointed season, so too will your faith break into visibility on August 21, 2025. The world will call it sudden, but you will know it has been in the making for years, quietly, faithfully, invisibly shaping itself until the appointed hour. And so, chosen one, your preparation now is not to scramble or panic or wonder how it will happen. Your preparation is to remain still, to rest in the knowing that it is already done. To prepare is to align your heart with gratitude, your mind with certainty, and your words with life. Do not let doubt speak louder than faith in these days leading up to this appointed time, for what you confess now is shaping the atmosphere into which you will step. If you speak lack, lack will echo back. If you speak abundance, abundance will appear. If you imagine failure, failure will find you, but if you imagine victory, nothing can keep it from being revealed. The alignment is about becoming one with what you seek, thinking it, feeling it, living as though it is already here, until the day itself simply mirrors back your inner truth. Understand also that alignment sometimes requires separation, and this is why certain relationships, habits, and environments could no longer stay in your life. The path you are on demanded clarity, and anything that did not resonate with the vibration of your destiny had to fall away. You may have resisted at first, holding on to people, places, and things you thought you needed, but life gently or forcefully removed them, not to punish you, but to make room for what is truly yours. This is the mystery of divine alignment. It clears the space before filling it. It empties your hands before placing the treasure. It breaks you open before pouring in the blessing. So as August 21 approaches, do not mourn what left, for what is coming could not have entered had those things remained. You had to be prepared, not only by what was given, but also by what was taken away. Chosen one, let this truth sink deep. August 21, 2025 is not about waiting for something new to begin. It is about entering into what has already been finished. The universe is not scrambling on that day to make something happen for you. It is simply unveiling what was always yours, hidden until the moment of alignment. When you understand this, fear dissolves because you see that the outcome is certain. The only question is whether you will be aligned in consciousness to receive it. If you are still clinging to doubt, fear, or unworthiness, you may watch the blessing pass by. But if you stand in faith, knowing you are chosen, worthy, and prepared, then nothing can stop what is meant for you. This day is a mirror. It reflects back the state you have chosen to dwell in. Therefore, prepare not by striving, but by surrendering. Prepare not by worrying, but by resting. Prepare not by waiting passively, but by living now in the state of the promise fulfilled. Walk through these days before August 21 with joy, as though the blessing is already in your hands. Speak boldly, act confidently, imagine vividly, and feel deeply the reality of your desire as if it is here now, because in truth it already is. That is alignment, to accept the unseen as present until the seen bows to it. When that day dawns, you will not be surprised, because you will recognize in form what you already knew in faith. Chosen one, the day of divine alignment is the day heaven and earth shake hands, when the invisible covenant becomes a visible reality. It is the day when the struggles of yesterday are seen as the training ground for today's triumph. It is the day when the whispers of your prayers are shouted in manifestation. August 21, 2025 is not the end of your journey, but the revelation of why you endured the path. Stand tall, prepare in faith, and know with certainty the alignment is already done, and you are walking into a future that has been waiting for you all along. Imagination shapes destiny, chosen one. Let me tell you this truth with unshakable certainty. Your destiny is not waiting for some external force to decide it, nor is it written in stone by circumstances, nor bound by the opinions of those around you. Your destiny is shaped by the images you dare to hold in your imagination, and what you consistently see and feel within will, without fail, express itself in the world around you. The world you live in today is nothing more than the shadow of yesterday's thoughts, yesterday's beliefs, yesterday's assumptions, and if you want to see what tomorrow will bring, simply examine what you are imagining now, for imagination is the womb of all creation, the silent power that takes invisible pictures and births them into visible form. This is why you cannot treat your imagination lightly, for it is not mere fantasy, it is prophecy. It is not daydreaming, it is destiny forming itself before your very eyes. August 21, 2025 will not be a random unfolding of chance, but the clear reflection of the images you have been entertaining in your inner world. If you have been rehearsing defeat, failure, lack, and fear, then you will see more of it mirrored back to you. But if you have dared to see yourself victorious, blessed, healed, abundant, and whole, then that day will unfold as the manifestation of your inner vision. Imagination is not limited by the facts of the present moment. It is greater than the obstacles you see, more powerful than the circumstances you face, and stronger than the limitations others try to place upon you. It is the one power given to you that makes you a co-creator of your destiny. Think of it. Every invention that has shaped human history began first as a picture in someone's imagination. Every building was once invisible in the mind of an architect. Every song was once unheard until a heart imagined it into existence, and every breakthrough in your own life began as a silent thought you dared to believe. The tragedy is not that people lack resources, but that they lack imagination. The chosen one, however, is set apart by the willingness to see beyond appearances, to hold an inner vision so firmly that the outer world has no choice but to conform. That is why you must guard your imagination, for it is the seedbed of destiny. Whatever you sow there with feeling, with persistence, will grow into the tree of your experience. The power of imagination lies in its ability to make the unreal feel real before it appears, and the more you immerse yourself in the inner picture, the more natural it becomes, until it no longer feels like a dream, but like a memory you are living again. When your imagination becomes this real to you, when you can walk through the halls of your envisioned future in your mind, hear the sounds of it, feel the joy of it, taste the fulfillment of it, then life cannot withhold it from you. You may not know the exact steps, the precise timing, or the manner in which it will come, but it must come, because what is real within will press outward into expression. This is why preparation for August 21, 2025, is not frantic activity in the outer world, but calm mastery of the inner world. You are not told to labor in anxiety, but to rest in certainty, to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and live from it as though it were already here. The inner assumption, sustained, is what shapes the outer event. Think of the countless times you rehearsed failure in your imagination, how you pictured rejection before you even asked, how you saw loss before you even tried, how you anticipated disappointment before the outcome was known, and then realized that life seemed to deliver exactly what you rehearsed. That was not coincidence, chosen one, that was law. You summoned it by giving it life in your imagination and feeding it with your emotion. Now think of the times you dared to hold on to hope, when you envisioned yourself succeeding despite the odds, when you saw light even in darkness, when you affirmed your victory even though your circumstances laughed at you, and in time you saw breakthroughs, opportunities, and answers that matched your inner vision. This too was not luck, it was law. What you imagine with belief becomes the script that life follows, and you are the director of your own play. But here lies the challenge. Most people imagine carelessly. They let fear write their script, they let worry paint their pictures, they let doubt direct their play, and then they wonder why their life repeats cycles of struggle. You, chosen one, are being called higher, to deliberately choose your inner images and stand guard over them as though they were treasures, because indeed they are. Every time you close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire, you are stepping into alignment with it. Every time you rehearse joy instead of sorrow, victory instead of defeat, abundance instead of lack, you are reprogramming your destiny. It may not appear in the outer world instantly, but remember, the seed does not sprout the moment it is planted. It takes time, yet the process is certain. Likewise, your imagined end must bear fruit, if you do not uproot it with doubt. Chosen one, understand this. To imagine is to claim. When you see yourself in possession of the promise, you are declaring to the universe that this is your reality, and it will bend to bring it about. But if you continue to imagine what you fear, you are equally claiming it, and the universe will bend to that as well. The law is impartial. It simply brings forth what you impress upon your inner world. This is why preparation for the day ahead is not about hoping vaguely, but imagining deliberately. Do not wait for August 21 to decide your future. Decide it now in your imagination, and let that day reveal it. So, as you approach this appointed time, practice the discipline of living from the end. See yourself already where you long to be. Feel the joy of it now. Let gratitude rise as though it were already completed, and refuse to dwell in pictures of failure or fear. Replace them instantly with the vision of your promise fulfilled. This is the secret preparation, not frantic striving, but quiet imagining, not restless anxiety, but confident vision. Let your imagination be saturated with the life you desire, and you will walk into it as naturally as stepping into a room you had already visited 1,000 times in your mind. Imagination shapes destiny because it creates the state of consciousness from which you live, and life has no choice but to mirror the state you occupy. If you live in the state of lack, lack will surround you. If you live in the state of abundance, abundance will flow to you. If you live in the state of sickness, sickness will persist. If you live in the state of health, healing will break forth. The outer world is only a reflection. The real work is inner. This is why the chosen one does not waste time blaming others, blaming conditions, or blaming fate, but turns inward, adjusting the inner picture until it matches the desire. That adjustment is the act of creation, and once it is done faithfully, the result must appear. August 21, 2025 will not surprise the one who has prepared in imagination. It will feel like recognition, as if stepping into a scene you have rehearsed many times. You will not say, "I cannot believe this happened," but rather, "I knew this was coming." That is the power of imagination. It makes the extraordinary ordinary, the future present, the invisible visible. Chosen one, let your imagination become the sanctuary of your destiny, the place where you live even before the world catches up. Hold your inner vision firmly, consistently, faithfully, and that day will become the unveiling of what you already knew. Imagination has shaped your destiny, and destiny has bowed to your vision. Faith is the seed of manifestation, chosen one. Let this truth be engraved upon your heart. Faith is not a passive wish, nor is it blind optimism, nor is it an empty declaration without substance. Faith is the seed of manifestation, the invisible power that transforms thought into reality, the unseen assurance that compels life to take shape according to what you have already believed within. Just as every mighty oak was once a seed, every promise fulfilled in your life must first exist as faith planted in the soil of your heart. And without that seed, there can be no harvest, no breakthrough, no unfolding of destiny. Many spend their days hoping vaguely, waiting for chance, leaning on circumstances. But you, chosen one, must know that nothing in your life changes until faith takes root within you. It does not matter how impossible the situation looks, how empty your hands appear, or how many voices around you deny your promise. Once faith has been conceived, the outcome is already secured, for the seed guarantees the harvest if it is not uprooted by doubt. Faith is the law of life, and everything you see in the visible realm was once planted as invisible faith. Consider how a farmer approaches his field. He does not plant a seed and then return the next morning demanding a full-grown tree. He plants with quiet assurance, knowing the process is certain, and though the seed lies hidden beneath the soil, though days and weeks may pass without a single sprout, he does not despair because he understands the nature of seed time and harvest. He waters, he tends, he waits, and in due season the seed breaks through the earth into visible form. In the same way, faith is the seed you plant in consciousness. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you declare inwardly that it is already done, you have planted the seed of faith, and though the outer world may remain unchanged for a time, the process has already begun, and manifestation is inevitable if you do not dig up the seed with fear and contradiction. The unseen period, when nothing seems to be happening, is not a time of failure but of gestation. Just as the child in the womb cannot be rushed without harm, so too must your faith be allowed to mature until the perfect moment when it breaks into visibility. Faith does not wait for proof before believing. Faith believes and then proof arrives. This is the mystery that the world struggles to understand. Most people say, "I will believe it when I see it." But faith declares, "I see it now, therefore I will believe it." One posture delays destiny indefinitely, the other hastens its arrival. Chosen one, understand that faith is not merely a mental agreement. It is a living force, it is confidence clothed in feeling, it is walking as though the outcome were already here. If you truly believe you are healed, you begin to act healed, you carry yourself with strength, you speak with vitality, You imagine yourself in wholeness. If you truly believe you are abundant, you begin to live with gratitude. You see opportunities instead of lack. You speak wealth instead of poverty. You carry a consciousness that refuses to bow to scarcity. This is how faith manifests. It changes your state of being now, and because life mirrors the state you occupy, the outer world must align with the inner conviction. But here lies the challenge. Faith must often stand against appearances. There will be times when everything you see contradicts what you believe, when circumstances shout louder than your conviction, when evidence piles up that seems to prove your faith is foolish. This is the moment where many give up, abandoning their seed before it bears fruit. Yet, chosen one, you must remember that appearances are temporary shadows, and faith deals in eternal truths. The fact that the outer world does not yet reflect your belief does not mean your faith is empty. It means the seed is still beneath the soil. To uproot it now is to forfeit the harvest. To hold firm in the face of contradiction is to prove the reality of your faith. Do not let the silence of delay deceive you. Manifestation is not denial, it is preparation. Faith is not concerned with how things will happen. The seed does not worry about how it will sprout, how it will push through the soil, how it will receive rain or sunlight. It simply contains within itself the pattern of its fulfillment, and life takes care of the rest. Likewise, your faith does not need to calculate the method, the sequence, or the timing. That is not your work. Your work is to believe, to hold the vision, to feel the end as though it were already accomplished. Life will organize the circumstances, open the doors, and bring forth the opportunities in ways you could not have imagined. Many weaken their faith by constantly asking, "How will this ever happen?" But the chosen one rests in the assurance that the how is already contained within the seed. The oak tree does not need to know how to grow, it simply grows. Your faith does not need to know how it will manifest, it simply manifests, and know this. Faith is tested not to break you, but to prove you. The delay, the silence, the resistance you feel are not punishments but training. You are being strengthened to carry the blessing that is coming. If you cannot endure the trial of waiting, how will you endure the responsibility of fulfillment? If you cannot remain steadfast when nothing is visible, how will you remain humble when abundance overflows? Faith refines you in the unseen so that when the visible arrives, you are prepared to handle it. Every chosen one has been led through the wilderness of waiting, and it is there that faith grows its deepest roots. Do not despise the season of testing, for it is proof that the seed is alive. August 21, 2025 will reveal what kind of seed you have planted. If you have planted faith, if you have held firm in the unseen, if you have refused to bow to doubt, then that day will bring forth a harvest that astonishes even you. But if you have sown fear, if you have allowed worry to choke your vision, if you have planted the seed but uprooted it again and again with contradictions, then the field will reflect that as well. Life is impartial. It simply returns what has been sown. This is why you must examine yourself now. What seed are you planting in your inner world? Are you rehearsing the promise fulfilled, or are you replaying the nightmare of failure? Are you speaking words of life or words of defeat? Are you standing in assurance, or are you bowing to fear? Whatever you choose, the harvest will come, and the field will not lie. Chosen one, let your faith today be unshakable. Nurture it with gratitude, water it with persistence, protect it from the weeds of doubt, and wait with expectation. Do not look anxiously to see if the sprout has appeared. Trust that the process is already underway. Live as though it were done, speak as though it were done, rejoice as though it were done, for in truth it is done. When you walk in this posture, the day of manifestation is inevitable, and when it comes, you will not be surprised, for you will recognize it as the outward expression of what you carried inwardly all along. Faith is the seed of manifestation, chosen one, and it has already been planted within you. Let it grow. Do not uproot it. Do not abandon it. Do not let appearances steal it from you. Stand firm, hold fast, and know with certainty the seed you carry will bear fruit, and the harvest of your faith will meet you on the path ahead. The invisible is more real than the visible, chosen one. Hear this truth and let it pierce your very soul. The invisible is more real than the visible. For everything you see around you, every structure, every invention, every circumstance, every event, every condition, was first born in the unseen realm before it ever took form in the material world. The outer world is nothing but the shadow of the inner, the visible expression of the invisible essence, and to live only by what your eyes can see is to live as one blinded to the true source of life. What appears solid, fixed, and immovable is actually temporary, fleeting, and subject to change. But what is invisible? The thoughts, the faith, the imagination, the unseen laws of spirit is eternal, unchanging, and infinitely creative. The visible is the fruit, but the invisible is the root. The visible is the picture on the canvas, but the invisible is the artist holding the brush. The visible is the harvest, but the invisible is the seed planted long before. This is why you, chosen one, cannot be deceived by appearances, for appearances are only the echo of yesterday's beliefs, and if you dare to anchor yourself in the unseen reality, the visible must bow and reshape itself in time. August 21, 2025 will not suddenly create something new. It will simply unveil what has already been established in the invisible realm, what has already matured in the soil of faith, what has already been rehearsed in the sanctuary of imagination. Consider how you once believed in things that had not yet appeared. As a child, you believed in tomorrow, though you could not see it. You trusted in the sun's rising, though the night seemed endless, and you anticipated growth, though the seed lay hidden in the ground. That childlike faith is the purest picture of truth, for life itself operates on unseen laws, and only the one who trusts in what cannot be seen truly lives in alignment with reality. The tragedy of many is that they allow what their eyes currently show them to dictate what they believe. But the chosen one learns to reverse this order, believing first in the unseen, shaping reality from within, and letting the visible world conform. Think of the wind. You cannot see it, yet you know its power by its effect on the trees, the waves, the very air you breathe. So it is with the invisible forces that govern your life. You cannot see them with your physical eyes, but you witness their effects every moment. Thought cannot be seen, yet it creates empires. Faith cannot be touched, yet it moves mountains. Love cannot be weighed, yet it transforms hearts. The invisible is the cause, the visible is merely the effect. Chosen one, this truth is the very foundation of your preparation. If you allow yourself to be enslaved by appearances, you will live in a cycle of reaction, tossed to and fro by what the visible world dictates, never rising beyond circumstance. But if you fix your eyes on the unseen reality of your desire already fulfilled, if you dare to believe in what has not yet appeared, then the visible world must eventually mirror that invisible conviction. When you are told to walk by faith and not by sight, it is not a call to ignorance but a call to higher vision, to see with the eyes of the Spirit rather than the eyes of the flesh. For what you see outwardly is already old news, a delayed reflection, a report of what has been believed and imagined within. To change the visible, you must first change the invisible, and once the invisible shifts, the visible cannot resist. Look closely at your life right now, the conditions you face, the circumstances pressing against you, the reality surrounding you. All of it is the residue of past imaginations, beliefs, and assumptions. To fight the visible directly is like trying to erase a shadow without touching the object casting it. The true work is always inward. Change the object and the shadow changes effortlessly. Change the root and the fruit must change. Change the inner conviction and the outer conditions follow. This is why your preparation for August 21, 2025 is not about frantic striving in the outer world but steadfast alignment in the unseen. The visible event that will unfold on that day is already finished in the invisible, and your task is to align yourself inwardly with that truth until the visible reveals it. Do not let yourself be fooled by the apparent facts of the present. Facts are not final, they are only temporary manifestations of past beliefs. What you see as lack today is not a permanent reality, but the shadow of old thoughts of scarcity. What you see as sickness is not an eternal sentence, but the effect of past assumptions about weakness. What you see as rejection or delay is not destiny, but the temporary expression of a state you once entertained. The chosen one refuses to worship facts and instead anchors themselves in truth, that the invisible world is more real, more lasting, more powerful than any appearance. Faith sees beyond the visible to the eternal promise. Imagination looks through the surface to the deeper reality, and conviction holds steady until the visible must yield. Think of the artist painting a canvas. To the observer who sees only the half-finished work, the painting may appear chaotic, incomplete, and meaningless, but the artist holds in the invisible mind a clear vision of the completed piece, and as long as the vision is sustained, the painting cannot remain unfinished. The strokes may look random now, but the end is certain. So it is with your life. Others may look at you and see only fragments, chaos, and contradiction, but within you is the invisible masterpiece, already complete, already perfect, waiting only to be revealed stroke by stroke. If you will hold to the invisible vision, the outer world will eventually catch up, and the same ones who doubted will marvel at the finished work. The invisible is more real than the visible because the visible is constantly changing, while the invisible remains constant. Circumstances rise and fall, money comes and goes, people enter and exit, conditions shift like the tides, but the invisible laws of faith, imagination, and belief remain unshaken. Anchoring yourself in the visible is like building a house on sand. It may stand for a moment, but it will collapse with the winds of change. Anchoring yourself in the invisible is like building on rock. It endures no matter what storms may come. Chosen one, fix your heart on the invisible promise and let the visible world adjust itself accordingly. As August 21, 2025 approaches, remember this above all. What happens on that day is already determined in the unseen. If you have prepared yourself inwardly, if you have lived in the invisible reality of your desire fulfilled, then the visible unveiling will be one of joy and recognition. You will not be shocked, for you will see only what you have always known within. But if you have allowed appearances to dominate you, if you have wavered and doubted, then the visible will reflect that as well. The invisible is the seed, the visible is the harvest, the invisible is the blueprint, the visible is the building, the invisible is the promise, the visible is its unfolding. Your task is not to wrestle with shadows, but to master the light that casts them. So, chosen one, do not let your eyes deceive you. Do not let delay convince you that nothing is happening. Do not let the silence of the invisible make you abandon your faith. The invisible is alive, working, arranging, aligning, moving pieces beyond your sight. Trust it, rest in it, believe it more than you believe the evidence of your senses. For the invisible is more real, more powerful, and more enduring than anything you can see. When August 21 dawns, the visible will bow to the invisible, and you will walk into the fulfillment of what you have carried unseen. You are already where you seek to be chosen one. Let this eternal truth resound in your spirit until it becomes your living reality. You are already where you seek to be, for destiny is not a distant mountain to climb, nor a prize hidden somewhere outside of you, nor a future moment that must be chased, but a present reality that exists within you now, waiting for you to awaken to it and live from it as though it were already fulfilled. The greatest illusion of life is the belief that you are separated from your promise, that you must wait for it, strive for it, beg for it, or earn it by endless labor. But the truth hidden from the many and revealed only to the chosen is that everything you desire, everything you long for, everything you have been praying and crying out for, already exists within you in the unseen realm, complete and perfect, lacking nothing, waiting only for your recognition and acceptance. The moment you shift your inner posture and live as though it is already yours, the outer world rearranges itself to match, and what seemed far away suddenly becomes near. What seemed impossible suddenly unfolds with ease. What seemed like a dream suddenly stands before you as reality. You must understand, chosen one, that time itself is only a construct of human perception. In truth, all states of being, all experiences, all outcomes already exist in the eternal now, and you are not waiting for your destiny to be created, but for yourself to align with it. When you say, "One day I will be healed, one day I will prosper, one day I will be free, one day I will walk in my calling," you push your promise into a future that never arrives because you are always living in one day instead of this day. But when you dare to declare, "I am healed now, I am prosperous now, I am free now, I am chosen now, I am walking in my destiny now," then the outer world has no choice but to catch up with the inner conviction. To wait is to delay, to assume is to manifest. That is the law of life, and it is why you must begin living from the end now, not as though it is coming, but as though it is already here. Think of a dream you have had while sleeping. In the dream, everything felt real, the places, the people, the emotions, until you awakened and realized it was all a projection of your mind. So too is this life. What you call reality is nothing but the projection of your inner state, and when you awaken to the truth that you are already where you seek to be, you stop chasing shadows and start living in the substance. Chosen One, August 21, 2025, is not about you finally reaching your promise. It is about you realizing that you have been there all along, and that day will only reveal outwardly what has been true inwardly the entire time. Your preparation is not about running faster, striving harder, or begging louder. It is about stillness, recognition, and alignment. You are not traveling to destiny, you are unveiling it. The world teaches you to measure progress by visible signs, money in the bank, recognition from others, positions of power, tangible achievements. But the chosen one understands that the true measure is inward, the state of consciousness you live from, the conviction you carry, the assurance that it is already done. When you live from the end, when you occupy the state of fulfillment inwardly, everything outward must conform in time. You cannot be denied, not because of effort, not because of struggle, but because law itself requires the outer to reflect the inner. This is why you are told to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, because assumption is possession. To assume is to claim, to live as though is to live in truth, and when you live in truth, the illusion of delay dissolves, and you realize you are already there. Chosen One, reflect on the times in your life when you finally received something you longed for deeply. Perhaps it was an opportunity, a relationship, a breakthrough. Notice how, when it arrived, it felt strangely familiar, as though you had been there before. That familiarity is the proof you had already lived it in your imagination, already claimed it in faith, already walked through it inwardly long before it appeared outwardly. What you call manifestation is simply recognition, the outer world catching up to the inner experience. This is why it is said that you are not creating your destiny but revealing it, not reaching for it but remembering it, not waiting for it but awakening to it. The future you desire is already real. The question is, are you dwelling in it inwardly? To live as though you are already where you seek to be requires courage, for the world around you will often mock you, circumstances will contradict you, and evidence will appear to deny you. Yet the chosen one does not bend to appearances. The chosen one bends appearances to the inner conviction. You must dare to act as though the promise is fulfilled, to speak words of victory when your situation looks like defeat, to give thanks for abundance while your hands appear empty, to walk in health while your body still aches, to move in freedom while the chains still rattle. This is not denial, this is truth, for the invisible is more real than the visible, and to live from the end is to live from reality, while to live from appearances is to live from illusion. Understand this, chosen one. If you are constantly waiting for outer change before you allow yourself to feel joy, peace, abundance, or freedom, you will remain in a cycle of endless waiting, because the outer can never change first. It only mirrors the inner. But if you choose to feel joy now, to rest in peace now, to embrace abundance now, to walk in freedom now, then the mirror must reflect that shift, and life cannot withhold what you have already claimed within. This is why gratitude is so powerful. It is the language of the fulfilled, the posture of one who already has what they desire. When you give thanks in advance, you are declaring, "I am already there," and life rushes to confirm it. August 21, 2025 is the day you will see that you are never chasing your destiny. Your destiny has been chasing you, waiting for you to stop running away in doubt and stand still in belief. It will be the unveiling of what has always been yours, hidden until you are ready to accept it. You will look back and see that every delay, every detour, every heartbreak was only stripping away the illusion that you were separate from your promise. The truth will shine forth, that you were already where you sought to be, and the struggle was never about getting there, but about awakening to it. So, chosen one, prepare not by striving, but by resting. Prepare not by chasing, but by accepting. Prepare not by begging, but by declaring. Say within yourself, I am already healed, already whole, already blessed, already chosen, already free. Live from that state. Walk in it, feel it until it becomes your natural dwelling place, and when the day comes it will not surprise you, for you will recognize it as the outer reflection of what you already knew. You are already where you seek to be, and life will prove it to you in undeniable form.